There's several Republican lawmakers now looking to pierce the so-called veil of secrecy that surrounds President Obama's czars. 4 House Republicans will hold a news conference a bit later today with a list of questions they have, and that brings us now to our BYA question. Because you asked, Wally Johnson out of Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, wants to know, and he's not the only one, by the way. We get a lot of emails about this. By what authority does President Obama appoint the czars? What are their salaries, and which department of government pays these expenses? 3 good questions. One lawmaker asking those same questions, California Congressman Darrell, Issa, a ranking member of the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee. How you doing, sir? And good morning to you down on the Hill. You're looking at some of these same questions. Any answers out there?
Well, there are a few answers so far from the White House. And I'll give the White House a little bit of a pass, and that is that although this administration seems to be expanding dramatically the czars, they didn't invent the concept. What we're trying to find out now, though, exactly as the questioner asked, is some of these people we know are paid for by different administrations. We know some of their salaries. But our questions to the President, Chairman, or Ranking Member Lamar Smith, in my letter said, well, look, we think we've got 54 of these, where there may be 65. There's 32 that are on one guaranteed list. Would you please tell us who they are? Tell us more about their FBI background checks, their confirmation, and because some are confirmed, and their accountability. We really expect to get a delineation of this and begin working toward holding the administration accountable to these people either be truly, and this is what, back to your question, are truly working for the president in the executive office of the president, which is a non-confirmed group of people, or have them confirmed and have them accountable to the actual cabinet officers and the U.S. Senate confirmation process.
So you're still looking for those answers, but you believe the White House and you believe you're going to get those answers, is what you're saying now.
I believe we will get some of those answers. I think one of the problems is that Rahm Emanuel and President Obama, they've proliferated this whole idea of having somebody for everybody in every interest group so quickly that I'm not sure who they want to call a czar and not a czar. What we do know is constitutionally, if somebody has authority through the chain of command, they have to be vetted and then confirmed by the Senate. That's the cabinet process and the assistant secretary process. A few of these people have gone through that, most have not, and that's where the unconstitutional behavior begins.
I see.
Obviously, that's part of it.
Now, you mentioned 54 czars. Our research team counts 32. You mentioned that these numbers are all over the board. I'm not sure why there's such a disparity, but, you know, perhaps with more answers from the White House, you can figure that out. President Bush had 13 czars, I believe, over 8 years. That's the number we have. Did you object then?
No, we didn't. And I think we all know the drug czar as a historic figure, probably the first one to be called a czar. Very clearly, the drug czar was sort of to drugs what the Surgeon General is to health care, mostly about the fact-finding and then advising the president and making public statements, but not administering a large staff. So we all understand that one. From 1 to 13 was too far. From 13 to 32 or 54 or beyond begins to be very obviously undermining constitutional intent. That's why Senator Byrd is among the loudest critics of this growth and one of our allies in trying to rein it in.
The Democrat from West Virginia. 3 czars are responsible for $1.5 trillion in spending. That's the bailout czar, the stimulus czar, and sort of a military political czar that advises the U.S. on overseas operations. That's a whole lot of federal spending, $1.5 trillion.
Absolutely, and you know, and sometimes the ones you see the most are probably less of a problem than those who are influencing behavior at all levels of government, carrying this but not being accountable. And you can understand, let's just say it's 32. Imagine 32 people operating without any oversight of the House or Senate. For the most part, that's where we're getting to. And the czar overlooking the TARP money is actually an exception. He's a former IG. He's been before the committees. Yeah. But most of these people never have and never will be before our committees unless something changes.
The outstanding question still, you know, whether salaries, who pays for them, by what authority do they have in the White House. Darrell, Issa, thank you. We'll watch for your news conference later today. To our viewers, email at bill.hemmer. Check that, hemmer@foxnews.com, also on Twitter @BillHemmer. If you've got a question, shoot it on our way right now.